Today we're at the Film and Photo Expo, and I'm here with Charlene Warwick, was it right? From Face and Grace. She's a founder of the makeup agency, and she's herself makeup artist and a hairstylist, and awesome at that. Charlene has been doing a lot of work for publications like Men's Health and Fitness Magazine and
the HJ magazine.
You see, I don't have my notes with me, and Frau Keer, I remember Frau Keer, and you've also done a lot of TV work?
Yes, I do a lot of local TV, a lot of things for ETV, especially the youth channels.
And I was surprised to see that you did the Opera Mania. I watched that.
Yes, I actually love working at the theatre. I've done quite a lot of their productions over the last couple of years, so it's really fun. It's a completely different world from shooting in studio or even from TV or film. It's actually a very fun place to be.
Did you do the body makeup for the Opera Mania as well?
That was photoshopped.
Awesome. What I actually want to ask you is, you've done a lot of fitness shoots, and you're a beauty editor for a fitness magazine?
Yes, that's correct.
And you always manage to match the makeup of the face to the makeup of the to the color of the body, because fitness models, they've got this orange tans. It's a gift. What do you do?
It was a bit of trial and error, trying to find the right foundation products that have the kind of undertone that I would need to match those tans. And then sort of mixing and matching from there. The more I did it, the easier it got. So now I kind of have a formula, and I can look at the tan, know exactly which spray tan they've used, and know exactly which foundation to go with it.
Okay, awesome. So you really have to have an extended kit for that. And talking about kits, at some stage I wanted to become a makeup artist, or at least to get the skill of a makeup artist and to build up my own kit. But the logistics of knowing what's the right product and you know, which areas I must splurge and which areas I must save. Is there such a thing as a foundation kind of kit or a guideline for building a successful kit? Because you can easily spend about 30,000 on a kit.
Well, firstly, I feel the most important thing when putting a kit together is to buy the best quality product you can with the money that you have. So obviously we all have budgets that vary, but trying to get the best quality product that you can will definitely affect the type of work that you're able to deliver on, especially for a new makeup artist starting out. Her skill level might not be as good as what it will be in a couple more years of practice, but using a good quality product will help balance that out. So definitely try to go for the best quality, and then I feel the main components of any kit where you really need to make sure that you've got the best that you can and as many color options as you can as your foundations and your eyeshadow colors. If you've got really good quality foundations, you can mix them together, you can add different products like primers and setting sprays to create different effects with that one foundation. With your eyeshadows, you can mix your pigments with silicone to create different types of glosses and shines. You can mix your pigments to create cheek stains and lip stains if you've got a good quality eyeshadow. So if you are working on a budget or you need to focus on just one area, those are the two areas you're going to focus on, because those products can multitask in so many ways. And then lastly, your brushes. Again, it's the tools that you're using. They will go a long way to the type of finish that you're going to get. So there's another area where, if possible, try to buy the best quality brushes. You don't need to have a million brushes. If you have a handful of really good quality brushes, you can still get the same effect as opposed to someone who has a brush kit with like 50 brushes in it.
No, I saw your brushes, and they're all selected for their properties. It was quite fascinating. I'm learning about brushes now, so I'm learning the names and what they're doing, so it's quite interesting. On that topic, continuing on that topic, as a photographer, would you say it's important for me to have a basic kit in the studio like just a few things to help me along, or for me to learn about makeup, or must I just leave it all together and rely on a makeup artist?
I think that would depend very much on the particular photographers. Some people like to get involved, and some people don't. So I think personality does come to play there. I think it's a good idea to always have one loose powder, a powder puff, and a clear lip gloss in every studio that belongs to the photographer. They can ask any makeup artist who will recommend exactly which powder to get, which will work with 99% of skin tones, so that it's there should you ever need to just matte the skin or add shine. Lip gloss can add shine to the brows, it can add it to the lips, it can add it to the hair, it can even add shine to the skin if you really need it, so those products can multitask. So I would recommend it, but there are some people that only want to be behind the camera and don't want to have to worry about what's happening in other areas. So it's a choice.
Talking about getting involved, I like getting involved, as you know. And I asked you a few times to do really crazy things, and you were very graceful, and you actually did it. But you did it in a way that it looked good. But what happens if a photographer or a creative director comes to you and he says, I want this look on this model, but you know this is not going to work? Are you going to argue? Are you going to try and fix it? Or are you going to do it?
That's a tricky one. Again, I think personality comes into play here. Depending on the type of person, creative director that you're dealing with, you will know whether or not they are open to suggestion or whether or not they aren't. If you know the person and you know they're open to suggestion, then I would very nicely put forward one or two other options of how we could try and create the same look, but maybe in a slightly different way so that it complements the model and works with whatever's being done. If it's someone that you know is not going to be open to suggestions, then shut up and do your job and do what they told you to. Because if it doesn't work, they will very quickly call you back and say, this is not working, please change it. And sometimes they end up sort of looking at you as if it's all your fault that it didn't work. But it's just one of those things that happen, and you suck it up and you get on with it.
Or they hire a retoucher and they say fix it. Usually I tell my clients, get a good makeup artist. I'm not retouching any messes. But also, when you're a young makeup artist, it's very difficult in a situation like this because you're not really sure what's expected of you and where you can say no, or where you can assert yourself. There is always a fear that you will not be called back to do another job. Is there somewhere a place where a young makeup artist, a starting makeup artist, can learn about expectations? What is expected of them on set? What are their responsibilities?
There isn't really. It's something they don't teach in the colleges, really. It's something I only learned when I started actually working. We offer as an agency, as part of our training courses, we do take our students on set with different makeup artists to different types of shoots. We take them on a TV shoot, we take them to a magazine shoot, so that they can get that feel for what exactly happens and just see it physically working as opposed to just being told about it. But it is very difficult for new makeup artists because if they don't know someone in the industry, they will never know what to expect until they actually get there. That's what happened to me. My very first shoot was in 1999 or 98, it was somewhere around there, for KTV at Mnet, way back when there were still the KTV presenters. And I arrived at Mnet and I was totally blown away. I was 19 years old, I knew nothing about the industry, I'd never even been to a TV studio before. I had absolutely no idea what to expect, so it was very intimidating, very scary for a young girl who has had no exposure to what happens behind the scenes in the industry to have to pitch up and work. So I wish that I had had someone who could have taken me along on jobs and introduced me and said, this is a director, this is a photographer, this is a creative director, this is an editing suite, this is what they do back here, this is what happens here. You know, switch your cell phone off, little things, you know. I wish I'd had someone who could have done that for me. So I really had to sort of just jump in the deep end and figure it out very quickly.
Well, does mentoring actually happen in makeup industry, or is the competition so tight that people are too afraid to share secrets?
That's something that, as makeup artists, gets discussed often. I personally don't have an issue with mentoring, but I only mentor the girls that are in my agency. So training, I will take girls on sets to see what's happening, but physically mentoring, I only mentor my own girls within my agency. And those girls, some of them started with me 5 or 6 years ago and have grown into such successful makeup artists, and I'm so proud of them. It's amazing to see how far they've come. So it is time consuming. It's giving of yourself to somebody else, being willing to answer questions that are important to them, where to you think, oh, really? Did you just ask me that? Like, come on, think. But when you're just starting out, these things are daunting, and what it might seem simple to us is actually not so simple. So I think there's definitely a place for it. I think it would be great if more people were willing to do it. People have asked me, do I not worry, because all the girls in my agency are freelancers and have their own clients over and above the work I give them. Do I not worry about losing my clients to other makeup artists, especially when mentoring and doing this sort of thing? And my answer has always been, if I do lose a client to another makeup artist, it means I haven't maintained the client relationship that I should have. And as yet, that hasn't happened.
It's really great, but the competition is really growing, because every year there is more and more young makeup artists that come on the scene, and there is also a lot of people that think they want to be makeup artists, and they start playing around and they start doing shoots because it's glamorous, it's wonderful, but then they realize, you know, the industry is too stressful, and then they fall out. What first of all, is there fear that the market will get oversaturated? And another one, how do you stay in the industry? How do you maintain that style and that is in high demand?
Again, that's another topic that's discussed quite often among makeup artists. From my point of view, there are a lot of new people coming into the industry. There are a lot of people being trained in makeup. I personally don't feel that it's something to be insecure about as makeup artists ourselves. I feel if you have an established client base, if you've been delivering consistent quality work for your clients, then you shouldn't really have to worry about competing with someone who has little or no experience and doesn't have the same client relationship that you have had with that client. So for me, it's not really a major concern. People coming into the industry are working on a different level, they're doing a different type of work, they're doing very entry-level work, they're doing the kind of thing that's either low budget, or if they're lucky and they have friends in the industry, will start getting some work. But the amount of work they get will be dependent on how good they are, how reliable they are. So many different things will determine how much work they will actually get, and it takes time for them to build up a client base. So I'm not too concerned. Most of my client base I've had for many, many years. They've built a working relationship with me. A lot of clients book me not because I'm the best makeup artist, but because they know me. And they're comfortable with me, and they know that if they book me, I will be there. And if they ask me to do XYZ, XYZ will be done. So they book me for those reasons. And that's something that somebody coming into the industry can't compete with. It's actually, I feel sorry for girls coming into the industry because it is tough to break in. It really is.
So if you're a starting makeup artist, and let's say you've got talent, and let's say you did do a few shoots to put onto your portfolio, how do you go look for clients? I cannot possibly imagine. How do you try to break in?
If you're new to the industry and you're a makeup artist and you don't know people in the industry, so you maybe don't know any photographers, you don't know anyone in the TV or film industry, you have no connections. The best way to market yourself is to network among other makeup artists. Get hold of other makeup artists, make friends with them, get to know them, ask them if you can shadow them, ask them if you can assist them on jobs where they need an assistant. It's the best way to get out there and actually get experience is by then networking among other makeup artists, which is a tricky thing because some will be quite happy to network and market with you and others may not. But I feel that if people work together, things just go more smoothly for everyone. So,
just a last question. If you had a lot of money right now to spend on something for your kid, what would you buy?
I kind of have everything.
Shucks.
A bigger car.
To be totally honest with you, there's nothing lacking or missing in my kids. In fact, I probably have too much. So if I had to go and spend money on my kids, I would probably blow it on airbrush foundations.
Make?
Well, that's it. You see, I would have to get... You said lots of money, right? I would have to get a couple of different makes so that I can try them all out and see which ones I like and don't like.
We are looking for a sponsor for airbrush foundations, and this is Charlene Warwick from Warwick. Charlene Warwick from Face and Grace, and she's really awesome. And if you haven't seen her work, her website is live. What's your website?
It's www.faceandgrace.co.za.
And hope to see you soon.
Good stuff.